Hey everyone, it's Michelle from Unraveling Books. I know I was going to do a video in April. I was supposed to do Great Gatsby comparison between the book and the movie, but I started the Great Gatsby and then I got bored. I couldn't do it. I mean, it was better this time around, but I just couldn't finish it. So we're just going to skip that one. So I saw Divergent and it was amazing. I've seen it 3 times now. I'm hoping to go see it again for a 4th time, and each time it just gets better and better. I'm like obsessed with it. It's so good. Once I saw the movie, I finally read the book because I needed more of 4. Like in the movie, he doesn't talk a lot, and I just was left with so many questions and just wondering, what is he like? What is this character like? And so I borrowed the book from my sister, read the first one, and then I went out and I bought the hardback book set and I read the next 2. And I'm just going to stick to the first book for this, since that's what the movie is the first book. And in the book, I was just so surprised to see how much more talkative 4 is. Like, I actually like the movie version a lot better. He's just got this quietness to him, and he's just a lot nicer, because in the book, 4, I find him to be such a jerk. And I honestly don't know how girls like him in the book, because he's just so mean to Tris, and I just don't like that at all. Sorry, my cat's trying to get in the picture. See, here's little one. I also really loved Shailene as Tris. Like, I know my sister was really upset about the casting, and especially for 4, she wanted this actor, Drew Roy, who is on the TV show Falling Skies. And it makes sense because in the book, 4 is supposed to be 18, and in the movie, he does not look 18. I mean, Theo's 29 in real life, so I think it's kind of weird that he looks so much older in the movie, and she's 16. So I actually I love the casting. I think it's perfect. I think Shay does an excellent job at like being the meek, like not shy, but just like really like keeps to herself, and she seems weak, but I just think she did such a good job at becoming this strong female character. And I like how you have like Jennifer Lawrence in the Hunger Games, and she's perfect for that, because I feel like even though Shay almost had the role in Hunger Games, I don't think Shay would have been able to pull off the toughness as well. And it's 2 different movies and books, and I think the shoot 'em up, like guns, that kind of thing fits Shay really well, whereas Jennifer Lawrence, I think, does really well in the nature aspect that's the Hunger Games. So I think it was perfect casting. And then in the book, it's weird because Christina is supposed to be like this tall girl, and Tris is actually supposed to be like kind of like Christina is in the movie, like the short little girl. And it's just weird to see the differences in the movie, but I thought Zoe Kravitz was really good as, playing her friend in there, and, I think it was also a really good casting choice. Miles Teller. I love Miles Teller. I saw his movie, The Spectacular Now, that he did with Shay. I saw it at Sundance Film Festival when I was living in Utah, and I saw him. He, talked at the movie, and I chose not to meet him. I wish I did. I mean, look at him now. He's, a big star. And it was just so cool seeing him and Shay, reunited again, and I just love that they keep getting thrown together for projects. So that was just perfect casting. It's weird because in the book, he's so mean. He stabs a guy in the book, in the eye. But in the movie, I mean, I'm surprised they didn't include that stuff. I mean, I don't think they should have. I like how they changed little things like that, so that, 4 isn't as mean, and Peter's not as mean. He's just, your typical, high school, mean guy. But I am curious as to, how the second movie is going to go, because there is, little things that do play a part in the second book that they didn't actually do in the movie, like Will and Christina dating, but then how's that going to play into the movie? Like I read, I got the Us Weekly like special for Divergent because I wanted the movie poster, and in it like Will says that him and Zoe had kissing scenes, but none of that was actually in the movie. And so it's like you don't really get the sense that they were full on dating unless you read the book, like you would know. The only issue I still kind of have with the movie is just the ending. Like, I was surprised to see it was different than the book. I like the movie ending better. It's just like, I feel like the way they filmed it, like it seemed, some of the fighting just seemed really fake, like it was really rehearsed, and it wasn't as natural as it could have been. But Kate Winslet is awesome. She plays like really just creepy, like manipulator. Like she's just really good at it. So I also didn't like the ziplining scene so much. I mean, I like the idea of it and everything. I just don't like when stuff has to look fake in a movie. But I like the Ferris wheel scene a lot. I like when they climbed up there, and it's cool knowing that Shay liked to do her own stunts and everything. I love the idea of the factions and just the different types of groups that people are split into. I would hope that we wouldn't do that in the real world, but I loved seeing like the different colors, like the black and the white for the candor, the blue for the erudite, the reds for the amity, and I loved the outfits that the Dauntless had to wear. One of my favorite lines from the movie is when Four and Triss are on that balcony, and he's showing her his tattoo, and he when he says like he wants to be brave and selfless and honest and smart and kind, like all of those, it just made my heart soar. I was just so like so cute that he wants to be all of those things and not just to one idea. And I just love that the whole book is just like the trying to fight against like being stuck in one thing. Like we shouldn't have to be stuck like just as smart or just as like the happy like peaceful people. We should be able to be like all of those. Like if we put all that together, I think that would be a good way to kind of get the world to a better place. Like we don't have to be like flat out like truthful like the candor necessarily, but little stuff here and there, like we could incorporate all of that into our daily lives, and I think that would help a lot. And I'm just so happy to like see that finally, like besides the Hunger Games, there's a young adult like book to movie adaptation that is actually doing well and has already been greenlit for the next 2 movies. Like I'm just so excited that we're actually going to get to see this. So now when I was reading the books, I was picturing like all the characters and everything in it, and I just cannot wait to see everything like on the big screen. It's going to be so good. I wanted to answer some of the discussion questions that are in the back of the first book. So one of the questions is, what choices have you made that have transformed you? What future choices might you also make, and how do you think they will change you? I used to be really negative and pessimistic all the time, and just like a couple years ago, once I got past like my teenage years and was living on my own in Utah, I just, decided like I need to be like happy and I need to be positive and not worry all the time. So it's like literally just like overnight I just changed. It's like a huge weight lift off my shoulders, and the book The Secret really helped. Like that's one of the best books I've ever read, and like I try to discuss that with like my friends and my family and just kind of pass like that knowledge along, because really like what you put out there into the universe is what like gets thrown back at you. I think also I went to college for 1 year. I didn't like it and I didn't want to go, but I stuck it out for my family just to like give it a try. But I knew it wasn't right for me, and so once I got out of that year of college was when I like started doing seasonal work. I went to Alaska for a couple summers, found Utah, and just started like finding little ways to get out to work and to travel at the same time and explore and see the world, because I really have a hard time being stuck in one place for too long. I know like long term, I want to eventually be like general manager of a hotel. I don't really know where I would want the hotel to be. I'd love to maybe actually own my own hotel, or create my own hotel, and just be in charge. I like being a leader, and I think I'm pretty good at it, so I'd like to advance and do that. Another question is, what does it mean to be factionless in Triss's society? How does a person become factionless? And I think the idea of the factionless is interesting because I feel like even though it's for people maybe who don't pass like initiation in any of the groups and get kicked out or something like that, I think like it would be interesting if you choose to be factionless on your own, because then I feel like that does fit with, you don't fit into just one category. Like factionless, you're like roaming around, and I feel like you could maybe just be on your own and explore more. And I know that plays a part into the other books later on, with some secrets and everything, but I think it would be brave of someone in a way to actually choose to be factionless, because if like the abnegation is giving food and helping those people, then it's like you're not fully like alone, you're still getting help in some way. And it could be like Jennifer Lawrence and Hunger Games, where like you go out in search of your own food, or you like make the effort yourself and you're like in charge of your own life, I feel like. But those people, it's more like in the movie they're shown as like homeless people, and I think if those people wanted to, they could like actually do something with their lives instead. The last questions in here before I get to the one I most want to discuss is basically, how would you answer the question of what your goal is? Like Triss in the book says the goal of her life isn't just to be happy. So we don't know what she would say if she was actually asked. I'm not going to focus on that. I would say, for me personally, if I was asked that question, I would say my goal is to be happy in life, because I feel like being happy would mean you lived a full life. You traveled, you tried new things, you made the effort to meet new people, and just like all of that together, even the ups and downs, like all the bad stuff you went through as well, would also help lead you to the path of being happy at the end. Like I think at the end of your life, if you can look back and say that you did everything you wanted to the best of your ability, then I would think that would mean you're happy. And the final question I want to discuss is obviously, what faction do I think I would have been born into, and what faction would I have chosen? I think 16 would be a little young to make that decision. I think 18 would have been a good age, because then you're officially an adult. Like 16, you're still supposed to be living at home with your parents, most likely. So I think I would have been born into abnegation, um, which to me screams kind of boring. Um, I would hope I would choose Dauntless. I think majority of people would want to choose Dauntless, because who doesn't want to try to be brave every now and then and do something crazy and just like face all your fears, Like I would want to face my fears and try to get past them. I'd be really curious to see what's in my fear landscape, because I feel like there wouldn't be too much except not being happy. I feel like that's my biggest fear. So I would be really curious to see about that. I think if I didn't choose Dauntless, I would most likely choose Amity, just because I would try. I try to be like a happy, peaceful person all the time, and I get told by my coworkers that I'm just like very like relaxed, and I just don't react and get angry to like little things that aren't important, and which took a really long time to get to. So I think I would choose Amity, even though I would want to choose Dauntless. But it would be a toss-up. That would be a really hard decision. All right, so that's a lot to discuss in this video. I didn't know I would have so much to say, but I was just so excited about the book and finally seeing the movie, and it's just like lived up to all of my expectations. Like, I was just so happy about it, and I love being able to see the movie and the book as two separate things and liking both 100% for like different reasons pretty much. So I cannot wait for the second movie, and I would love to hear what you all have to say about the movie. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, are you going to, or why haven't you? And I know pretty much everyone's read the books except for the third one, some of you. So let me know what you think of the book as well, if you like the changes they made for the movie, and especially visually, like, what did you think of the movie too? So let me know in the comments or on the blog comments as well, or on Twitter, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye!